How's it? I am Mr. Willie19 coming at you here from the Second Amendment Show on the YT YouTube. I figured it was about time that I do another gun review. It's been quite a while. Do a nice little desktop one, and typical me, I went ahead and hit the record button on the webcam, came running to the safe and just dug in there and grabbed the first thing I came across. And what I did come across was this. This is the Taurus Model 44 SS6. SS is in stainless steel. It is a 44 Magnum revolver, 6.5-inch barrel in stainless steel. I'm assuming it's in here. Feels like it is. I've not opened this thing in a couple of weeks. So actually, more than that, a couple of months. So we'll go ahead and set it down on desktop, and I will wait till open it until start recording again. We'll be able to take a look, see what's inside together. Hopefully nothing embarrassing. So stand by for just a moment and we'll get to that right now. Okay, let's get ready to go ahead and take a look at the Taurus 44 Magnum 6.5-inch barrel in stainless steel here. Now I bought this gun brand new, and it came in a cardboard box, not in this plastic case. This is just a cheapy Dosco that you get from your sporting goods store or gun shop or whatever. Again, I have not opened this in several months, so hoping there's nothing embarrassing in there, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be fine. Let's take a peek. Yeah, there we go. That's not so bad, huh? Okay, here we have well, actually, first things first, as always. It's been a couple of months or just a couple of seconds. Want to make sure it's clear before you're going to be pointing the thing in all kinds of strange directions and goofing with the trigger and such, as I plan to do. Okay. Here we have sitting a speed loader. I can tell at a glance exactly what these are. This is Black Hills 240 grain. The 44 Magnum in a handgun is a big old bullet. This is a serious load. Yeah, they've got the 500s out now, and the 454 Casull has been out since, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, something like that. But that is a monster-sized projectile sitting on a lot of push powder. It will get booking pretty darn fast, and it will impart a lot of energy. You can basically hunt anything native to North America with this thing. Moose, elk, bear, deer. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, and well, I wouldn't use these bullets, this type of bullet specifically, this type of round. But you can definitely hunt any large game native to North America with a 44 Magnum. So it is a very, very powerful gun. Now, I wish I had my Smith & Wesson 629 here so I can do a side-by-side. And the reason for that is the Smith & Wesson Model 29, well, mine is the 629. For those not familiar, the number 6 in front of a model number, Smith & Wesson lexicon, means that it's a stainless. Right? So a little bit of something for you. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 truly is the benchmark for the 44 Magnum handgun. All others are measured by it. And so I wish I had it here to do a side-by-side, but it's at another location. So I'm going to go have to do without. But I am going to mention the Smith & Wesson Model 29 quite often, just to use as a yardstick, because a lot of people are familiar with that gun, very familiar with it. But not so much the Taurus. This is not nearly as popular or as famous. Now, let's cut to the heart of the matter. Is the Taurus 44 Mag as good a quality a gun as the Smith & Wesson Model 29? In my humble opinion, no, it's not. It's just not quite there. Now, that is not to say that this is not a very good gun. Just like anything else, I've heard a couple people that have had problems with them. The vast majority of reviews and such that I've read have been very positive. You get, pardon the pun, a whole lot of bang for your buck. Manufacturer suggested retail price on this gun right here is $666. That's right about what I paid, right in there. The Smith & Wesson Model 29 with the 6.5-inch barrel is going for, I believe the suggested retail is $989. So it's right there knocking on the door of $1,000, and this is in the mid 600s. And, you know, the old saying, you get what you pay for, is true. However, this is by no means a piece of junk. The gun is just great. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a little whiny crybaby when it comes to my guns. I'm a very easygoing guy. It's really hard to get my feathers ruffled. You know, good enough is just fine for me. You know, the house, the car, the motorcycle, that's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. But when it comes to my guns, the slightest little thing will make me pissy and start whining and griping. And I have absolutely zero complaints with this Taurus. It has, well, let's go ahead and run down some of the specs here. I'm going to be doing this off the top of my head, so if I goof something up, somebody please straighten me out. It does have a capacity of 6 rounds. Okay, it has a 6.5-inch barrel. This particular one is ported. Now, with that porting helps tremendously. Anyone who's shot full Magnum loads, even like a 357 Magnum, these guns for the uninitiated or the unfamiliar can be a little scary. This gun right here is so mild-mannered. It has such good manners and so manageable. I've often been heard to compare it to shooting a 9mm. Now, of course, that is an exaggeration. Okay, that's me exaggerating. However, if somebody's been shooting this thing all day long and you go and hand them an old school, I don't know, Red Hawk or something with the wooden grips on it, that'll make them shake in their boots because after shooting this, they're like, oh, 44. I've shot 44 Magnum all day long. Now, this is not representative of the punch that a 44 mag can give, because this is a very, very well-behaved gun. And I'm sure, you know, of course, the porting has a lot to do with it. The front sight you can see here is fixed. The orange paint on there does come stock. The barrel is 6.5 inches in length. It is single action, double action. Again, I'm sorry, just I'm anal about that. It is single action, double action. Inside the barrel, here we have there are 5 grooves in a right-hand twist, and oh shoot, again, pardon the pun, I'm shooting from the hip here. I believe it's a 1 in 18 3/4 turn. Yeah, 1 in 18.75 is the twist rate on it. Comes stock with these rubber grips. What else we got? The rear sight is adjustable for elevation and windage. You can see my particular sight here has some bluing worn off of it because this gun has seen a lot of hard use. It's got between 7,500 and 8,000 rounds put through it. It weighs 52 ounces unloaded. Again, this is a Magnum. It's a heavy gun. You know, it's a bit beefy. So 52 ounces unloaded. Its length is just over 11.5 inches from stem to stern. I believe it's 11 5/8 to be exact. And it stands about 6 inches tall. Just for comparison, I brought out, here is a Glock 17. Okay, it's just the 9mm 17. So you can get a bit of perspective there. Sorry. Get a bit of perspective of the size of this handgun. It's a big old gun. It's a Glock 17, and here is a 45 caliber 1911. So you can see how big that dang handgun is. That is a true hand cannon. A big old son bitch. All right. Oh, it comes with a lifetime warranty that belongs to the gun, not to the owner. So you can sell it off and it can trade hands 100 times. And that helps it keep its resale value, where you can tell the potential buyer, hey, lifetime warranty, it goes with the gun. It's not just the original buyer kind of thing. That's something Taurus is kind of proud of. I believe Smith & Wesson does the same thing. Nonetheless, when you're getting to mid-range guns like the Taurus, They're not as quite high end. Having a lifetime repair policy is pretty bitchin'. I think that's great. What also about this? The trigger pull on it in single action, I measured it at just over 3.5 pounds, which is absolutely perfect. That's exactly where I like it. In double action, the pull is a bit heavy. It takes some oomph. For a modern production handgun, this is pretty stiff. It requires a bit of oomph to it, which I like also. I like my double action pull to be a bit on the heavy side. So that works just fine for me. Again, I said the rear side is adjustable. It's of the notch variety. For safety, do have a transfer bar type safety there. In addition to that, there's this little bolt right here that goes in the back of the hammer. And I'm not sure. Let me see if this is a... Yeah, here we go. This is what Taurus calls the Taurus safety system. And basically what it is, you get a key that goes with it. It's basically just a modified Torx wrench. And you put it into that little screw right there, and you turn it 90 degrees, or I'm sorry, just a quarter turn clockwise, and the bolt pops up. It kind of springs up, and then, sorry, didn't actually do it. There we go. And that'll lock up your action. So the gun cannot be operated. You put your stupid little key back in there and turn it a quarter turn counterclockwise, and it drops back down, and your weapon is functional again. So fit and finish on this thing. The fit, everything on it is absolutely beautiful. I'm not quite sure if you can see this, but where the side plate is, see the groove where it fits? It's just so perfect. There's no differentiation or delineation. There's everything just fits great. As far as finish goes, that's one of those little things where, you know, the Smith & Wesson will definitely come out ahead, because here's just a small little stupid example, but it kind of speaks to the bigger picture. We're at stamp 44 Magnum here on the barrel. 44 starts off nice and deep, gets even deeper when you get to the first M. By the time you get to the last M, it lightens up to where you can barely even see the last leg of the final M in Magnum. Little attentions to detail like that, you know, it's, again, you get what you pay for. As far as performance of this thing, this gun shoots better than I do. And I'm no slouch. I'm a pretty decent shot. We generally, this has done, all of those 7,500 to 8,000 rounds have been in a pretty harsh environment out in the desert. This guy's been into an indoor range a couple of times only. Everything else has been out in the sand, in the wind, and we set up steel targets at 45 to 50 yards, and you have to shoot them with a hog leg to get them to fall down. Your little 380 won't budge them. So 45 to 50 yards, no problem. It's a cakewalk. And after all of those rounds have gone through this thing, there is it's not developed any type of problem whatsoever. A lot of those loads have been very, very hot ones as well. The cylinder has no play at all. The crane is just stuck. It's just there. The timing on it has not moved a CH at all. The timing has just stayed absolutely perfect. Boobies on a cracker, man. Tits on Ritz. You can see there is what they call a cylinder ring. Some wear marks in there, and that comes from what I call the bolt. A lot of people call this a bolt. Some call it a cylinder index stop and whatever. There's a bunch of different names for it, but basically that's from the guy rubbing on the cylinder. Because in today's modern revolvers, especially with like the Smith & Wessons and the Rugers and the Tauruses, not sure if you can see that, but the bolt will actually come up and begin to ride against the cylinder before the cylinder actually goes into full battery.
So it'll ride on there, but even so, after almost 8,000 rounds, this cylinder ring is not that bad at all. It's just the spacing between the cylinder itself and the forcing cone of the barrel. It just stayed spot on. It doesn't spit a whole lot of lead to the side. It's just, I am super impressed with this gun. I love this Taurus. It's just badass. And again, I'm really, really whiny and easy to complain when it comes to my guns. I do not have a single complaint about the Taurus. If you were to take off this side plate, check out the innards on it. They're not quite as sharp, not quite as finely tuned as the Smith & Wesson. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. This is definitely not a piece of junk gun. It's a very great gun for the price. Again, $666 is suggested retail. The Smith & Wesson's going for about $1,000. So this is a fairly good bargain. And anyone who's been eyeballing one of these, I highly encourage you to go give it a test drive. I think you'll be impressed. I really do. It's just a plain old killer gun. If I could do one thing to it, and one thing only, because I normally shoot it in competition, we shoot for money, I would like to put a scope on it. But you can't put the scope from one of your airsoft guns on a Magnum. You'll end up breaking your glass. This is the last gun I bought, and I bought it probably 4 or 5 years ago. I just can't afford it. I just don't have the money. I would love to put a silver scope on there. Who knows? Maybe if I'm a good boy, Santa will bring me one someday or something. I've been jonesing to put a scope on here for so long, but that's all I want to do. The iron sights on it are fine. Don't get me wrong. They shoot just fine, but when there's bragging rights with a bunch of asshole friends of mine, I would, yeah, I'll take any advantage I can get. They all use scopes. I'm the only guy out there without one, so I sure would love a scope for it, but that's all I want. Otherwise, I wouldn't do a thing to this. I'd leave it absolutely bone stock. So there it is, a quick look at the Taurus Model 44 SS6. It's just my final review. Good as the Smith & Wesson 29? No. Is this a poor gun? By no means. No, this is a fantastic gun. It's great. I love it. And again, if you're thinking of looking at one, go test drive it. I think you'll be impressed. And in closing, I would like to say that I am Mr. Willie 19 coming at you here from the Second Amendment Show on the YT YouTube. And I am hoping that this video finds you and finds you well. Cheers.